All right, so here is our 7.2 foldable. This is still on a monomial times a polynomial, okay? And this looks a little backwards to you because this is before it's folded, so this here is actually the right side, and this is the left side here. So we're gonna look at just the multiplying side here first, and then we'll do the problems on the second page that correspond with that. And then we'll look at how this applies in solving equations, which we will end up doing some mixed practice, so multiplying first, distributing first, and then adding and subtracting to solve equations. Okay, so let's take a look at this side here, this multiplying. Okay, so when you're multiplying the coefficients, right? When you're multiplying a monomial times a polynomial, you'll multiply the coefficients together, so the numbers together, and then you'll multiply the variables together. And when you multiply the variables together, you're just going to be adding the exponents, okay? So let's take a look at the first one here. 6x times 3x squared, so the coefficients are multiplied together. 6 times 3 is 18. And then we'll multiply x by x squared. We'll add those exponents. 1 plus 2 is 3, so 18x cubed is that first one. And that's what we did just there. And then now we're going to multiply it against the second term. 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. There's just the 1x here. There's no x here, so we'll just keep the 1. All right. So looking at the one below it, we have 2x times 3xy squared. So 2 times 3 first, we'll do 6x times x, x squared. And then we just have the 1y squared here. There's no y over here, so we'll just keep the y squared as it is. It's not being multiplied by anything. Okay, and then multiplying the 2x times the last term, 2 times 4 is going to be positive 8. There's only one x and only one y, so we'll just keep those as they are there. Okay, here's one with a negative out front. Okay, so that just means we're going to be multiplying the negative 2 times the negative 4, which gives us positive 8. And then x cubed times x is x to the 4th. Okay, then we have the negative 2 times positive 8, which is negative 16. And then we have x cubed times x to the 4th, we get x to the 7th. Okay, and so there our we did our multiplication. However, we like to always write these in standard form, and since this exponent on the second one's higher than the first one, we're just going to switch these places. So we're going to have negative 16x to the 7th plus 8x to the 4th, and this will be our final answer here. And looking at the last one here, this one has the monomial up front has 2 different variables. We have a coefficient of 1 out here, so we'll just do, when we're multiplying against this first one, 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. X cubed times x to the 4th is x to the 7th. And then y times y is y squared. Okay, then we're going to have a minus 5x to the 5th. And this one is already in standard form. We look at the x's before we look at the y's. And the highest exponent on the x is written first, so we can leave that one as is. Okay, and then I'm going to move down to the inside. So when you open your foldable, when you open this flap here, you're going to find these problems. Okay, it just looks a little backwards the way that I have it. So let's look at these ones. Multiply each polynomial by the given monomial and simplify. Okay, so we're going to take this monomial, multiply it like this. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. We have x cubed. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, x squared. All right, moving on to this other one. 6pq times 3p squared is going to be 18p cubed, and then we'll just keep the q there, plus 24p q squared. So notice I still wrote the p first, even though there's no p in here, and then I wrote the q times the q. You want to just keep it in alphabetical order there, and then it is written with the highest p exponent first, so we can leave it like that. 5jk times 3jk, we have 15j squared, k squared, plus 10jk squared. There, and then here's one where we have a coefficient that is a fraction. But it's the same thing. We're still going to be multiplying this coefficient by the other coefficient. So we'll do 1/2 x times 8x squared. So 1/2 times x is equal to 4. And then x times x squared is x cubed, plus 1/2 x squared minus 7/2. Okay, and if you're a little rocky on the multiplying fractions there, then you need to come see me for some extra help, and we can work on fractions. Okay, these last two, it looks like they are just mixed practice. So remember, we're going to do the distribution first for each of these, and then we'll do the subtraction. Because we have the subtraction here, we are going to keep this entire second polynomial in parentheses as we distribute it, and then as we distribute the 5, and then we'll distribute the minus sign. Okay, so we just want to keep track of the minus signs there. So we have 6x, starting over here, we have 6x times 2x, which is 12x squared, minus 18x, minus, then in parentheses, we'll distribute the 5 among the second one. So then we have 10x squared plus 45x minus 15. Now let's rewrite without parentheses. So every term in the second polynomial will get this negative. So minus 10x squared minus 45x. And then this last one is negative, so we're going to be subtracting a negative, which is the same thing as adding. So we're just going to add this 15 here. Combining like terms, it looks like we have 12x and negative 10x, which is 2x squared. Negative 18x and negative 45x, that will be, let's see, 45, 55, 63, minus 63x plus 15. All right, and this last one here, looks like there's quite a few things going on. We have a multiplication here, multiplication here, multiplication here. And remember, we always do the multiplication before we do this addition and this subtraction. Since we have this subtraction here, we're going to keep this whole polynomial in parentheses here. Okay, so let's start at the left side, distributing that negative 3g. So we have negative 21g squared plus 6g. Plus, and we don't need to write this one in parentheses because it's an addition, so we can just keep going. 3g squared plus 6g plus 3 minus, here we start the parentheses, 3g times negative 5g is negative 15g squared, and then plus 9g. Let's distribute that negative so we can write it without the parentheses. We'll start over here, negative 21g squared plus 6g plus 3g squared plus 6g plus 3 minus, we are subtracting this negative 15g squared, so it's actually going to be plus 15g squared, and then the 9g will get the minus. Okay, so let's look for our g squareds. We have negative 21g squared, 3g squared, and 15g squared. So 3 and 15 is 18, minus 21 is negative 3g squared. Okay, then we have a 6g, and a minus 9g. So 6 and 6 is 12, minus 9 is 3, so plus 3g. And then we have just the positive 3 here, so plus 3. That should be our final answer. I don't remember what I did with the solutions, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Okay, so now we've done just all of the multiplying. and then we have this solve this equations here. So we'll solve the equations and then check the answer. Okay, so we have this included in here because there are some multiplying monomials by polynomials here, and then solving the equations. So let's distribute this first. So we have x squared plus 3x, and that's equal to x squared plus 6. Okay, so let's subtract x squared from both sides, and that gives us 0 and 0, so we're left with 3x is equal to 6. Divide both sides by 3, and we get x is equal to 2. Okay, so it does ask us to check our answer. So we are just going to take x is equal to 2 and plug it back in for x in the first equation. So here we have, let's see, 2 times 2 plus 3 is equal to 2 squared plus 6. Okay, so I've just put 2 in for every x on here. So then we'll distribute this 2. Well, we'll according to PEMDAS, we'll do the parentheses first. So we have 2 times 5 is equal to 4 plus 6. 10 is equal to 10. It is true. So we did find the correct solution there. Okay, let's look at the second one down below. Let's distribute this first, and then we will solve the equation. So 2x times 3x is 6x squared minus 6x is equal to 6x squared minus 12. Let's subtract 6x squared from both sides. So this is 0 and this is 0. Then we have negative 6x is equal to negative 12. Divide by negative 6, divide by negative 6. X is equal to 2. Okay, so let's plug 2 back in for x in the original equation. We have 2 times 2, and then 3 times 2 minus 3. That is equal to 6 times 2 squared minus 12. Okay, so let's do what's in the parentheses first. In the parentheses, we have a multiplication and a subtraction, so we always do the multiplication first. So we have 2 times 2, and then 6 minus 3 in here. That's equal to 6 times 4 minus 12. Okay, and then 6 minus 3 is 3, so we have 2 times 3, which is equal to 24 minus 12. 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12. 24 minus 12 is 12. Okay, so that equation is true with the solution of x is equal to 2. Okay, so here we have just 2 more problems. Same thing, it's asking us to solve the equation and then check our answer. So here's our equal sign here. It's kind of hard to see at first. So we have this distribution, then this addition. Okay, so we can just distribute. We don't need parentheses over here. Then we have this distribution and this addition. So we don't need to put parentheses anywhere. We just need to distribute and then combine like terms and then solve for t. Okay, so let's distribute this 5 here. We have 5t squared plus 10t minus 5 plus 3 is equal to 5t squared plus 3 times 3t is 9t plus 6. Okay, so let's combine like terms where we can't, well, looks like we have one of each on, oh, right here, we can combine this negative 5 and this 3. So we have 5t squared plus 10t, and then negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2, and that's equal to 5t squared plus 9t plus 6. Let's subtract 5t squared from both sides. And those will cancel out to 0, then we're left with 10t minus 2 is equal to 9t plus 6. Let's get the t's on one side, so we'll subtract 9t from both sides. Over here, we're left with t minus 2, that's equal to 6, and then adding 2 to both sides. T is equal to 8. Okay, so go ahead and plug this in to check to make sure that that is the solution, and then we'll do this last one really quickly. Alright, so here we have this multiplication here, a multiplication here, an addition, and the subtraction here. So since we're just subtracting a constant number, we don't need to put parentheses anywhere. So we'll just do the distributions first and then combine all of our terms. So x times x would be x squared minus 5x. Then we're adding this 8x over here. That's equal to distributing this x among this binomial. We have x squared plus 2x minus 4. All right, so there's no combining like terms right now, but we can subtract x squared from both sides. Then we get negative 5x plus 8x. Oh, I guess we can combine those, huh? That's equal to 2x minus 4. So let's combine this left side. Negative 5 plus 8 is positive 3x. That's equal to 2x minus 4. Subtract 2x from both sides. Then we have x is equal to negative 4. Okay, and then you want to plug this back into the original equation for x to make sure that that is true. And that is all for our 7.2 foldable.